Righto, a bit more street bounty today. Someone's thrown out this Victa 26cc leaf blower. First inspection, bit hard to tell, but it looks like it's missing a sparky plug, so no wonder it doesn't work. Let's see, sight unseen, if this thing runs and what it takes to get it going, and how can we stop people throwing out crap that probably is perfectly good in the first place. Let's go. Okay, first things first, sparky plug. Righto, first things first, make sure your little switch is on. So what I'm going to check for is to see if there's a spark. These things are pretty simple. You've got electricity and you've got fuel. If you get a spark, it means that your magneto is okay, and if you don't get a spark, it means throw it in the bin because it's beyond economic repair. So let's see if this thing actually turns over. So basically, if you get spark, then it can only be fuel, and fuel on these things is pretty simple. Hey! So I don't know if you can see that, but that is a really nice clean spark. Great, so that means we put the spark plug in, we go around to the business end, see what's happening with the carby, and hopefully this thing gets going. So sometimes fuel hoses go, pretty simple. See how long it takes us to get this puppy up and running. Now I am just going to throw some fuel in this and just see how it goes. So some people basically nick the, well, not nick, but take the spark plugs out and just to salvage them for another project, which makes them a little bit harder to work on. So here we go. Look, air filter is actually not too bad here. So you can see the choke position, start and run. Fresh fuel, 2-stroke oil, give it a bit of a mix. What people do is they make the mistake of leaving fuel in here and it gums up, and it gums up the inner jets of your carby. So if you get it coming into winter, then run the fuel out of your mower or out of your leaf blower or whippersnipper or whatever, just so that all of the capillaries and very, very fine jets inside your carbies are drained and clear for the winter. If this doesn't work, what I do is when I'm finished whippersnippering or mowering, or not mowering, because my mower is a 4-stroke, but whippersnippering, I usually tip the fuel back out into one of my handy little glass jars, and you've got to put a lid on them because it does evaporate very quickly. Alright. Now, the other thing that we should be able to see is when I press the primer bulb. No, I'm getting leaks out of the primer bulb, so it's got a stuffed primer bulb, so I am going to have to change that, and then hopefully we'll get some action out of this thing. So I'm going to tip the fuel out of here, back into a glass jar. New primer bulb. I'll see if I've got one. They come in 2 sizes, side of the road. Now, 2 Phillips heads at the end here. Now sometimes I'll throw these in the ultrasonic cleaner and sometimes not. So let's just have a look. Got to take these fuel lines off. They've been cable tied on. Yeah, those fuel lines actually look okay. So what I'll do is I'll just get rid of that cable tie there and clip that off, and then I'll be able to push the fuel lines off. And what I'll do is I'll take a photo with my phone just so I know which fuel line went to which side, which is usually a tip for young players. And the other thing I've got to do is I've got to take the unscrew the throttle cable as well, throttle linkage. Alright, so when you're taking these fuel hoses off, this is actually a splayed screwdriver that I made up years ago, but a flat blade will do. You just have to be careful. Sometimes the hose can adhere to the copper pipe or the brass pipe, and they can be very, very sticky and they can tear. There you go, you can see that fuel bulb is stuffed. It's already come off. There we go, beautiful. To get the throttle cable off to remove the carby completely. Finally, the carby comes out, and it's just a little bit of stuffing around, so you can see that that actually rotates. This one was just a bit stiff, and then there's the throttle adjusting screw there, which hopefully I won't need to adjust. Anyway, I'm going to pull this apart, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, change the bulb, and let's get this thing back up and cranking. Now this is a good opportunity to have a look at the diaphragm in here. This one looks pretty good. It's not sunken, so let's assume that that's okay. In fact, it's often cheaper to buy a complete replacement carburetor than it is to buy individual diaphragm kits. So such is the cost of inbuilt obsolescence and parts replacement. That only goes in one way, so you can see that that is matched. What I'm trying to do is just going to use a flat screwdriver just to get rid of the old remnant of the primer bulb, which you can see is there. Now you've got two types or two sizes of standard primer bulb. Push that through. There you go. Perfect. And the whole idea of this, the whole idea of my channel is that if people see stuff on the side of the road, one, it can be repaired, but two, the whole idea is to educate people that just don't throw stuff out. You just can hang on to stuff and repair it, and you can get decades out of things. I mean, decades. My mower, it's a Briggs & Stratton 3.5, and it would probably be, oh, look, I bought it and it was already probably 20 years old, and so this stuff, and that was probably 15 years ago, so, you know, 35-year-old mower, 4-stroke, runs fine, absolutely fine. I did put a new diaphragm kit in that, but that would have been the first diaphragm, which cost me about $4. It would be the first diaphragm kit it's had, probably in its whole life. The other thing is, I enjoy this. This is good therapy. Oh, it goes like that, and fuel hoses go at the bottom, air filter goes on the outside, and that's that. And look at that, so it went in so much faster than getting it out, and that's because it just needed a bit of a clean. And now I'm just going to spin the throttle cable back to the adjuster back to roughly where it was. Then look at my phone, make sure that I get the fuel lines in the right spot, and then off we go. Needle nose pliers are good for this. So basically one of these hoses sucks the fuel out and the other one returns it, which means that you're not really using fuel unless it's being burnt in the carburetor. So that kind of sits like that. And I find putting these in, you just kind of have to, you can either pull this all the way out and look for the thread, or you can just sort of wing it and just keep turning it until you get a bite. There we go, one side's in, and once one side's in, the other side will also go in. And don't use these up with a, do them up with a rattle gun or anything. So obviously the throttle, the choke, has to go on the outside, and so it's pretty self-explanatory how these go back together. But if you're unsure, take photos. So again, I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers just to pinch those, just to make sure that there's no possibility of the fuel lines getting choked. So what I'm looking for when I press the fuel bulb is fuel getting sucked up. There we go. And hopefully turn the switch on up the top there, which you saw me do. It's primed. Oh! Now, if your unit is really not wanting to start, take off the exhaust and have a look at the screen. This one screen is pretty clean and clear. You can see that, you can see all the way through it, but if it's blocked up, that can be an easy reason why it won't start.